こんにちは、ハリケーンフットボールです。インターナショナルウィークが終わり、週末からプレミアリーグも再開します。三笘薫擁するブライトンは、ニューカッスルとの楽しみな試合です。今回は、ブライトンファンチャンネルでアップされている、その試合のマッチプレビューの動画ですが、特に前節のトッテナム戦での三笘薫のプレーを振り返りつつ、三笘のプレーの素晴らしさが話し足りないと言わんばかりに語り尽くしています。ファーストタッチ、トラップ、ストップ&ゴーのドリブル、クロス。何もないところからチャンスを一人で作り出す三笘に対するブライトンファンの称賛が止まりません。実際にどのように話しているのか、チェックしてみましょ
う。And obviously, you know, he's still new. And you think about when, for example, Purvis, when he first joined.
Yeah.
First couple of games.
Oh, he was all over the place.
Exactly, he was all over the place.
To be honest.
People got onto his back and they were like, you know, he's only played like 2-3 matches at this point. But then come towards the end of the season, the partnership he formed with Mitoma.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Well, mate, that Mitoma at Stepinian, that is one of the best partnerships up there. And I'm going to say it right now. Do you know what? Clip it. Do what you want with it. That is up there with one of the Kane and Sons of the duos. That is up there. I think the output that they had in 22-23 was ridiculous. Under De Zerbi, obviously, he got the best out of Mitoma. Really, really got the best out of him. And we saw real glimpse of that against Tottenham with Mitoma. We haven't seen him take a proper game by the scruff of the neck like he used to, and for obvious reasons, right? He's been injured for so long. He's been sort of struggling to get back into the team consistently. He's well and truly back, I thought. And to have that link with Purvis again, I genuinely would go as far to say when they're on their best form, I struggle to think of many left sides that can be better than Mitoma and Purvis Estepinian.
Oh, absolutely. 100% agree, because their games complement each other so well. And I think, you know, you look at the way that Estepinian can deliver across on that left foot, it's so instantaneous, it's so dangerous. And the fact that he can overlap, and he is as dangerous going forward as Mitoma is. So there's always two threats to think about. And you saw last year when Purvis was off the pitch, right? And Mitoma is basically holding down that left side on his own. They had, like, you remember in Europe as well, they had 2-3 people marking Mitoma at all times.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have Estepinian overlapping. Yeah. They didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, and no Solly as well on the other side. I think
exactly.
We took so many hits last season. You actually forget how light we were.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when everyone sort of looks at, this is a big thing about Mitoma, because people were like, he's been found out, whatever. But when you think about
that,
mate, it's stupid, right? It's stupid. Yeah. I think if you've got half a football brain, you can see that Mitoma's one of the best, will go down as one of the most technically brilliant players ever been here, full stop.
I think he's probably arguably
already there. Yeah. Fair enough. So my point is, when people sort of say, oh, well, Mitoma fell off. I saw that a lot. I saw Mitoma fell off. We haven't really seen the real Mitoma. He's not been in the games as much. You know, he's in and out of form. And I just think, when you look at that team that he was with last season, and not just about the players, I don't want to talk down on the players, but as you rightly said, the games that each of them play between Purvis, the profiles of Estepinian and Mitoma suit each other so well. And I think that team suited each other so well that it was almost like a perfect chemistry. And, you know, as you say, you can't double up on Mitoma because you have that trouble of the other side, or you have the trouble of Purvis doing a similar sort of piece of damage. In the middle, we had Gross, etc. So I think when you've got that fit now, with Jorginho now coming into it, with João Pedro hopefully back before the end of the year, Matt O'Reilly coming back before the end of the year, hopefully, you know, we've got a lot to worry about now. It's not like we're just one-dimensional. So you can finally see Mitoma on what Mitoma can do. And what Mitoma can do, as I said, I think he's up there with one of the most exciting wingers in the league. And I really, really mean it. I can't speak highly enough of him because it doesn't take much for him to get involved. And by that, I mean, how many times have we had a bit of a dead game, right? The game's a bit boring. There's not really much happened. Mitoma's hardly touched the ball. And the moment he does, he'll put one of them outside of the boot, crosses in. But even if no one's on the same wavelength as him, he started something off. Yes. And you're like, he didn't even need to really think. He didn't need to really be involved. And he's just made something happen out of nothing.
I think
it's magic.
It is magic. I think this is what makes Mitoma as a player so special, because, like you say, if he's had a quiet game, you notice, right? But all it takes, I think teams know that they can't afford to give him anything, because they know the second he gets on the ball, he will create something. I mean, I was looking at a few compilations the other night, you know, his first touch, immaculate. Genuinely,
he's one of the best.
One of the best first touches
Crazy.
I've ever seen. I mean, the way that he would like control the ball on his chest and it literally rolls perfectly onto his foot, takes one touch, and then it was against Spurs. Baleba switches the ball, it comes over, he chests it down, lands on his chest, and it lands on his foot. It takes one touch, looks up. He's got 3 defenders between him and Welbeck, right? He's got Porro, he's got Romero, and I think he's got either Van der Ven or Bentancur, right? There's 3 of them. He's completely blind to that angle, but Welbeck knows he can play that ball. He trusts him. So he plays that ball outside of the foot, onto the toe. And I know Welbeck looked really upset that he couldn't finish that. I mean, fair enough. But the fact that he can bring that just from nowhere, like Baleba, brings the ball forward. I remember in the crowd as well, I was watching, I remember a few people groaning when he didn't play it out to Minter to get a cross in or whatever. But then he looks up, plays a switch over to Mitoma. Bang, one touch on the chest, one touch on the foot, outside of the foot cross, and there it is. And he creates something from nothing, right? It's just that moment that he can bring, like you say, his first touch is phenomenal. I think his passing genuinely is so underrated in his skill set.
But how many times, just on your thing about this first touch, how many times did JP Van Hecke, before his injury, play that pass across? Dunk's done it many times, that sort of drilled ground pass across, daisy cutters. And the amount of times we've seen not just defenders playing it, Caicedo, I remember, played that ball across for the Everton goal. If you remember when he sort of cut inside and then dummied in. And it's obvious because I haven't really seen... One player I've got in mind already is Riyad Mahrez, in terms of first touches, in terms of making something happen. That's probably the comparison that comes to mind for me in terms of that elastic foot. If you get the ball, it's going to stick to your foot. And it is like one of those... It's really rare attribute. You can't really just get that. To get someone that has that, how do you even call it?
It's a real gift. It's a
like
real
a
technical
stuck to
gift.
your foot sort of thing.
The glue shoe. It's like
it's
what
that's the
Ronaldinho
one.
basically perfected. But
but
the other thing about Mitoma as well is that it's not only glued to his foot when he takes his first touch, but every other touch after that, he can have it on a string.
Yeah.
And this is something else that is so dangerous about him, is that even if he's at a complete standstill, right, he's got a defender in front of him. The defender does not want him to go a certain way, right? But Mitoma knows that he can make the defender go wherever he wants.
Yeah.
Wherever he wants. And it's like, you see him from that standing start. His first step, the way he can accelerate from a standing start to full speed with the ball under full control is unreal.
Yeah.
And there's barely anything you can do about it. And I saw, it was a clip from, I think it was City last year. I think it was City at home. And he's running at Walker, right? Walker is showing him the outside because he knows that he can do him for pace. He wants Mitoma to take a big touch. He can then cut in, sweep in, take the ball, whatever. Right, fine. So he knows that Mitoma's going to want to shape in. So he's like, you can have the outside, no problem. But I know I can just turn in and cover you up. But he's not expecting Mitoma to do that.
Yeah.
So then he feints. He takes one tiny touch inside, throws Walker off balance. Bang, he's gone the other way down the outside. And he's created a cross. Yeah. Just from that. And this is Kyle Walker, who is, he's regarded probably... In the future, will be regarded as one of the best right-backs in the Premier League.
Yeah, of course
ever.
he will.
And the fact that Mitoma can just do that, just run at him, and he knows at any point he can just take control of the situation without any warning whatsoever. Yeah. It's a real gift. It's a really, really special
Walker,
gift.
as you say, he's used to running between situations. But I think with Mitoma as well, I remember it was at City, Etihad. And it's the similar sort of thing. I think it actually created the goal for Ansu Fati at the time. And it's that sort of slow down and then speed up. I think that because you can't really stop that, because you can't really predict it, can you? No matter how good of a defender you are, if someone slows down and speeds up and they're quicker than you, they're going to get around you.
Yeah, it's the change of speed. It's the change of speed.
It's great to watch.
When you're in control of that ball, obviously you can dictate the pace of the game. But it's the way that he can do it, like the speed at which he can do it.
Yeah.
He goes, he stops.
Yeah.
The defender's then stopped in front of him. He doesn't know which way he's going to go, like a deer in headlights, and then bang, it's gone again.
I love this Mitoma prop because he deserves it. He really does.
He does. He's had so much slander on his name.
He does. And
I'm amazed, right? And obviously there's the neutrals or whatever, the casuals on Twitter that kind of go, oh yeah, he fell off. What happened to Mitoma? He disappeared, right? But when you understand that this guy was injured for, he must have been like 5-6 months.
Yeah, a good 5 months, 4 or 5 months.
You noticed when he wasn't in the side.
Yeah, of course you did, yeah.
You noticed it, and it was very, very clear how much weaker I don't know if they say weaker, but you know how differently the side plays.
It changes the dynamic, doesn't it, with us? I mean, it stops the way we attack and we change completely.
次は解説です。ブライトンはイングランドの南端の海沿いのエリアで、特別に目立つような強いアクセントはあまり感じませんが、単に典型的なイギリスのアクセント、発音なのかなと思っています。それでも話すスピードも速く、リスニングは難しい箇所も多々ありますが、自然なスピードで自然な会話のように話す動画は、良い教材になるでしょう。それでは解説をチェックしてみましょ
う。And we saw real glimpse of that against Tottenham with Mitoma. And we saw real glimpse of that against Tottenham with Mitoma. And we saw real glimpse of that against Tottenham with Mitoma. We got a scruff of the neck like he used to.
スクラフ・オブ・ザ・ネックとは、通常、首の後ろの皮膚や首筋を指す言葉です。動物の首の後ろの部分を掴むことで、動物を持ち上げたり、動きをコントロールする場面で使われることが多く、比喩的には力強く、厳しくコントロールするや強引に動かすという意味で使われます。
But a scuff of the neck like he used to. But a scuff of the neck like he used to.
It's so instantaneous.
インスタントとインスタンタニアスは似た意味を持っていますが、インスタントはすぐにといった日常的な即時性を示すのに対し、インスタンタニアスはより技術的で物理的に瞬間的であることを強調する場合に使われます。
So instantaneous. It's so instantaneous. And Mitoma is basically holding down that left side on his own. And Mitoma is basically holding down that left side on his own. And Mitoma is basically holding down that left side on his own.
They've been here. Full stop.
アットフルストップという表現は特にイギリス英語で使われ、完全に終わり。これで話は終わりという意味を持ちます。フルストップは日本語で句点や終止符を指し、転じてこれ以上議論の余地がない、間違いないという断定的な意味を強調する表現です。
They've been here. Full stop. They've been here. Full stop. So Mitoma fell off. So Mitoma fell off. So Mitoma fell off. I don't want to talk down on the players. I don't want to talk down on the players. I don't want to talk down on the players, but it's not like we're just one-dimensional.
ダイメンショナルは物理的な次元や形、または人物や物事の多面性を意味します。文脈によっては、三次元的なから複雑な、多面的なといった広い意味で使われます。比喩的に使われるときは、深みがある。単純ではないというニュアンスで使われます。
It's not like we're just one-dimensional. It's not like we're just one-dimensional. But even if no one's on the same wavelength as him,
ウェーブレンクスは物理的な波長を指すだけでなく、日本語の波長が合うと同じように、比喩的に考え方が一致していること、誰かと気が合うや同じ視点を持っているというニュアンスで使われます。
But even if no one's on the same wavelength as him, but
all it takes.
All it takes は必要なのはほんの少しのこと。必要なのはこれだけという意味のフレーズで、何かを達成するために最低限必要な要素や条件が非常に少ないことを強調する表現です。通常、簡単、または少しの行動が結果をもたらす場合に使われます。
But all it takes. I mean, I was looking at a few compilations the other night. You know.
コンピレーションは特定のテーマや目的に沿って集められたコンテンツやデータを指します。音楽や映像だけでなく、データやエッセイなど様々な分野で使用される言葉で、ここでは三笘のプレイ集、つまり三笘のプレイを集めた動画のことです。
I mean, I was looking at a few compilations the other night. I mean, I was looking at a few compilations the other night. You know, his first touch, immaculate. No. You know, his first touch, immaculate. You know, his first touch, immaculate. No. While I was watching, I remember a few people groaning when While I was watching, I remember a few people groaning. While I was watching, I remember a few people groaning when
that sort of drilled ground pass across daisy cutters.
ドリルドパスは非常に強く、低く、速いパスのことです。通常、精度が高く、相手ディフェンダーにカットされにくい形で通すような、地面に沿ってボールが進む強いパスのことを言います。デイジーカッターという表現も同様に、強く低く速いボールのことを言いますが、パスだけでなくシュートにも使います。地面スレスレで走るため、芝の上に咲くデイジーの花を刈り取るように見えるというところから来ている表現です。
That sort of drilled ground pass across daisy cutters. That sort of drilled ground pass across daisy cutters in terms of that elastic foot.
エラスティックは伸縮性がある、弾力性があるという意味の形容詞で、通常、物理的に引っ張ると伸び、引っ張りを止めると元の形に戻る性質を持つ素材や物体を指します。比喩的に使われる場合、柔軟性がある、適応力があるという意味で、人や状況が簡単に変化に対応できることを指します。
In terms of that elastic foot. In terms of that elastic foot.
without any warning whatsoever.
Yeah.
Without any warning whatsoever.
Yeah.
Without any warning whatsoever.
Yes. I love this Matoma prop because he deserves it. I love this Matoma prop because he deserves it. I love this Matoma prop because he deserves it.
He's had so much slander on his
He does.
He's had so much slander on his
He does.
He's had so much slander on his
He does.
いかがでしたか？三笘のプレーの素晴らしさを話すと止まらなくなるのがよくわかりますね。何度もディフェンダーを苦しめてたドリブル一つとっても、そのフェイントや止まった状態や減速した状態から急に加速するようなスピードの変化も、足元に綺麗に収まるトラップも、右足でインスイングするアウトサイドでのクロスも、すべて素晴らしいのはブライトンファンがよくわかっていますね。プレミアリーグ再開初戦であるニューカッスル戦が楽しみです。今日もご視聴いただきありがとうございました。またすぐにお会いしましょう。